Welcome to our webinar. Today I'd like to tell you a couple of things about our Android products. We've been asked many times about Android devices, so we've put a lot of effort in our R&D department to fulfill this demand. The latest addition to our Android portfolio is the MEP320. It has a very thin form factor, so it can be easily integrated into any scenario, but we respected our digital engine line when we designed it, meaning this device has the same width so it will fit in all existing accessories like the smart insert, the VISA brackets and even the engine core. Furthermore, this media player is able to handle environments up to 50 degrees and has a lifespan of 2 years. It also has a very high MTBF of 50,000 hours. We aim to make this line of products as good as our well-proven digital engine range. But before I give you more details about the device, let me first introduce myself. I am Joey van den Hogen and recently became a father of a very beautiful daughter. I'm also married and 33 years at this moment. I have been working on the FAE department since 2012. FAE stands for Field Application Engineer. Our department is responsible for all technical supports on the products in Europe. Our work can be anything from testing new devices up to giving training courses, from validating software vendor packages to building up events. Basically, if you are in need of tech support that isn't a normal RMA, you're probably going to meet me or one of my colleagues. And sometimes we are asked to host a webinar like this one. In my spare time, I like to work on my bike or my drift car, as I'm also competing in the Dutch drift series. Drifting is moving your car sideways in oversteer, maintaining control of the vehicle from beginning to end. During competition, you're sliding around a corner, a couple of inches away from your opponent. Sideways isn't the fastest way around the corner, but it's definitely the most fun way to do it. And in a matter of speaking, drifting is much the same as FAE work, like finding the limits of the device, stay calm and take control of the situation, and sometimes you have to fix something. Now, back to the MEP320. I'd first like to explain a bit how an Android device is built, as the biggest difference compared to an x86 system, your normal Windows PC, is that these devices come with an OS pre-installed. We call this OS the BSP. The BSP stands for Board Specific Package. With x86 systems, you have to install your OS and install all your drivers before you can work with the system. For Android devices, the units come pre-installed with the Android OS, including a lot of drivers. This package is put on the system during the manufacturing process. However, there are of course a lot of devices in the market that you can use with your Android system, but not all the drivers are included in the BSP. When you're using Windows, for example, you also don't install all the drivers that are available on the market. You only install what you need. For our Android devices, we can assist you by updating the BSP following the OEM ODM market lines. Basically, our goal is to cooperate with the customer to get a BSP customized to their wishes, and when finished it will get its own part number. So every time you order that number, it comes completely configured to your specs, including your signage app, all your drivers, everything is included. And every time when you load the factory defaults, it will be just like new, just when you bought it. This means fast and easy deployment and stability. One other important thing to keep in mind, our BSP isn't made for the consumer market. We left out several standard programs like the Google Play Store and services. In the consumer market, you are free to use anything you want to use from Google. But as soon as you use it for commercial purposes, it becomes a different story. Some of the codecs, for example, are not free to use commercially. Let's take a quick look into the product specifications. Let's highlight a few. It comes with the Freescale quad-core A9 CPU running on 1 GHz. It has 1 GB DDR3 memory and 8 GB of storage. It has a wide variety of I/O, like 4x a USB, a functional COM port. You can use this to do machine-to-machine communication, for example. It has an audio in and out. It has a LAN connector, SD slot and many more. This SoC works on 12 volts, which makes it also extremely suitable for car environments. As it doesn't have any moving parts, it's also very shock resistant, and the housing is made completely out of metal, finished with the same powder coat as the digital engine series. Let's have a look at the connectors on the front of the unit. I'll name them from left to right. We have the 4 USB 2.0 ports, one USB on-the-go port, an SD slot for extra storage, audio in and audio out, and the power LED. When we rotate it 180 degrees, we see the back that also has a couple of connectors. You see a punch-out hole for a reset button if needed, the HDMI port, followed by punch-out hole for the antenna, and next to it we see the LAN connector and its neighbor, the COM port. At last, but one of the most important, the DC-in connector, and another punch-out hole for another antenna. Let's take a closer look inside the system. This is the mainboard. I'll highlight a couple of the important components. First, marked in red, we see the SoC, which is covered by a heatsink. The SoC that we used is the Freescale i-MX6 Quad Cortex A9 1GHz, and it comes with a Vivianti GPU. Then, marked in blue, we see the memory chips. It has a total of 1 GB of DDR3, which is enough for most applications. Here over the green marked area, we will find a full-size mini card slot. You can add a Wi-Fi card, 3G or whatever else you want. Just make sure it's supported by Android, and if it's suitable for Android, we can put the drives in the BSP. Last but not least, the storage chip. By default is an 8 GB eMMC and eND flash. And you will have about 4 GB of free space left to use. If that isn't enough, you can use the SD slot or one of the many USB ports. As said earlier in this webinar, we follow the OEM lines with this product. This means that a lot can be customized. Please contact your salesperson for more information. To summarize, let's talk about some of the most important key features. The unit is built as an industrial grade system. This means we have a 2 years lifespan and operation temperatures from 0 to 50 degrees. It also has a very high MTBF. It is also designed for the commercial and signage market. To get that extra stability, we've hidden the navigation bar by default to prevent tampering. The unit automatically switches on when the power is connected. And we have several optional mount solutions because it has a digital engine format. It is expandable due to the mini card socket for add-on card solutions. It can do machine-to-machine communication via the COM port, which has a full pin. And because it runs 12 volt, it could also be used in vehicle environments. Let's take a sneak peek in the future. We already have a wide range of ultra slim all-in-one units that we call the E-Tile. The thickest one is only 3 cm thick. It comes in 15, 19 and 22 inch. We have equipped it with an x86 platform running the QM77 chipset and an Intel CPU. These tablets-like PCs have been in the market for about a year now, and our customers are very fond of them. So we wanted to take it a step further and put our hardware of the Android flagship, the MEP320, in this unit. We will probably start with the 19 inch, and definite specs are not released yet, but the mainboard will run the same chipset, so it will probably be very similar. Also during 2015 we will launch the MEP110. This device will probably have the Cortex A9 2 GHz CPU. It will be even smaller than the MEP320, but it maintains the same width, so it will still fit in all digital engine accessories. And it should be able to support 4K resolution. For any inquiries about these products, please contact your local salesperson. This concludes my webinar for our Android series. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you get a better insight in our Android range. If there are any further questions in the future, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can always contact the FE department by mailing to support@aopen.com. It's in the screen that you see now. And I want to thank you all for your time, and hope to see you at the next webinar.